Coming up on the South Florida High School Football Show, the Southwest Eagles are flying high. And down south, South Dade is off to a great start. And look out, as Coral Gables is rushing toward a district title. We'll preview the county's best defensive linemen, and we'll have a big preview of St. Thomas and Cypress Bay. All of that and more on the South Florida High School Football Show. Once again, everybody, and welcome to the South Florida High School Football Show. Joe Zagacki with Don Bailey Jr., surrounded by the Cypress Bay Lightning cheerleaders here at BurgerFi, which is in Weston, and Weston is home to Cypress Bay High School.
That it is, Joe, and the Cypress Bay cheerleaders, BurgerFi. We've got a great show. There's great food here. Come join us. Let's get on with the show.
By the way, it's a big week for Cypress Bay because they play St. Thomas, which we'll talk about a little bit later on. Also, a quick salute to North Miami High School, off to a great start, as well as LaSalle and Cardinal Gibbons, all playing championship football. And one of our key teams that we're going to take a look at right now, Southwest, and they are playing tremendous football as well.
15-8A, Joe, is the district that they're in. They're doing a fine job. They've got a great quarterback in DeAndre Pickett-White. He's doing a nice job with the run and the pass. The receiving core is helping him out, but more importantly, they've got Treon Sands 8 yards a carry. When you're averaging almost a first down every time you touch the football, you know you got things cooking on offense.
You got to love the quarterback's name, right? Pickett-White, he's got a terrific name and playing really good football. The Eagles are coached by Tim Neal in his second year, and they were 8-2 last year, made the regional quarterfinals, so he's got them trending in the right direction.
He really does, and I like the fact that they got into the playoffs last year. They had success, they got into the quarters, and now if they were able to push it farther, where it looks like they are, they've got that playoff experience, because that first year, it's difficult to take them all the way because it's so new to everybody involved.
They finished the season with Varela and Coral Gables. Coral Gables will be a non-conference game. All right, let's stay south and go down to South Dade. Their confidence is growing. They've got wins over American, Carroll City, and Columbus. South Dade has a lot of firepower.
They do, Joe, and it starts with their quarterback, Khalil Render. He is a guy that's quick strike, has a great release. They've come up with big plays throughout the season so far, and I don't see any reason that they will stop with those big plays.
They were 10-2 a year ago. They made it deep into the playoffs, so another team that has playoff experience.
Well, it's nice to see that that happens, because when you come off a season like they did last year, you go into spring football, you have the confidence that you need to carry it on and take that next step because you were able to reach the playoffs. I believe the same thing will happen to South Dade again this season.
Averaging 32 points a game, Khalil Render is their quarterback, and you'll love this because you like balance. So they're averaging over 150 yards passing, over 100 yards rushing.
So if you're the defense and you're facing South Dade, where do you stack up? Do you load the box to try to stop the run? No, you can't do that. Do you back people off and try and stop the pass? You can't do that either. So the balance is what is creating the imbalance when they face the defense.
South Dade's defense has been excellent, allowing 10 points per game, so they can shut you down as well.
But what's nice about this is the combination. When you have a defense that's holding opponents to that number this point of the season, and then you have the explosiveness of the offense, that's the making of a championship team.
All right, South Dade is coming off one of the big games of the weekend. They played Jackson the other night. They've got a bye week next weekend before they take on Killian. Let's stay south. A great story is emerging in Coral Gables. They've got a great running attack.
The Gables are hot again, and when you look at the running game, they're already at 800 yards and with their leading rusher. But I think what's helped them as well is the defense, Joe. They've had 3 shutouts. So now you have the running game, which gives you the time of possession that you want, takes the pressure off of the quarterback, but you have a defense that is shutting people out. And I don't care what level it is, anytime you hang a double goose egg on the scoreboard, it's impressive.
Coral Gables once had a running back by the name of Frank Gore. Now they have Greg Howe. He's leading the county in rushing. He's close to 1,000 yards.
And we're only nearly at the halfway point, so you could try and compare him to Frank Gore. Not so fast, as they say. But he's having an outstanding year, and a 1,000-yard rusher in Dade County or Broward County is nothing to shy away from. That proves that the young man has talent. He runs tough yards, and he can get the long yards.
And quickly, to go back to that defense for a minute, 4 points per game. Are you kidding me?
You love
Who
that,
does
right?
that?
Nobody does that. And it's not just game one, game two. We're right at the midway point of this season, and they're holding strong. They've got a very good defensive line, and the thing that impresses you when you watch them is how their defense pursues the football.
All right, those are a look at a couple of big teams in Miami-Dade County. By the way, Coral Gables coming up next week. They'll play Miami High, and there was a day when Gables and High played each other, and it would be almost a sellout at the Orange Bowl.
Well, it really would. You think about that. Historically, that was the biggest high school game. You maybe throw in Edison, Coral Gables back in the 50s, and they used to pack the house at the old Orange Bowl.
Well, there were some other great games this past weekend, and with all the highlights, here's Joe Rose.
Joe, Don, and Cypress Bay cheerleaders, great stuff. Are you ready for some high school football? Well, let's get right to it starting Wednesday night. Here we go. Undefeated Southwest facing South Miami. First quarter, Dundre Pickett wide lobs one in the corner to the end zone. Travon Sands makes the great catch, falling down for the touchdown. 13-0 Eagles. Then still in the first, the two hook up again, hits him. In stride on the deep ball, 60-yard touchdown. Southwest rolls 48-7. They are a perfect 6-0 on the season. Jacksonville Bulls making the trip down south to take on American Heritage Plantation. Sony Michel, #1 in the media guide, #1 in your hearts, bust off a huge run. He is good. American Heritage sends the Bulls packing with a 60-21 beatdown. Shamadan Madonna hosting undefeated Champagnat on homecoming. Bad idea. Cato Nelson hits Darnell Solomon on the quick slant. Champagnat wins easily, 34-13. Miramar and Everglades playing for the Mayor's Cup. Too bad only one team showed up for this one. Nick Genty hooks up with Kevin Perlette. Great throw, easy catch, 7-0 Patriots. Later in the first, Tyler Williams takes a swing pass from Genty, and watch him go through the traffic, 45 yards to the house. Miramar rolls to a 38-0 win.
The South Florida High School Football Show is brought to you by the U.S. Army, Tico People's Gas, The Chamber, Metro PCS, South Florida Chevy Dealers, Broward Health, BurgerFi in Weston, Vitamin Shop, and 560 QAM.
A few years ago, I decided to push myself further. College, graduate school, degrees in aeronautics and engineering. And I learned that being my best means getting the best from everyone around me. Becoming an Army officer taught me to set high objectives and quickly rise to meet them. Kinda like a rocket.
An Army officer learns to reach new heights and inspires others to do the same. Can you? Find out at goarmy.com/officer.
He's a 20 years straight, get to work on time. He's in love one woman for all his life. Everybody knows he ain't just tough, he's strong.
The all-new 2014 Chevy Silverado. Strong for all the roads ahead.
The recruiting segment is brought to you by Metro PCS, wireless for all.
We're back on the South Florida High School Football Show. Joe Zagacki with Don Bailey Jr. We're at BurgerFi next Friday. Cypress Bay will be at St. Thomas, but come on by BurgerFi. They'll have a little pep rally here, maybe.
Need to have the pep rally or grab some burgers and take them to the game for your pregame meal.
Cheerleaders are getting all revved up for that big game. Okay, we move into our recruiting segment. And this is an important position, and you find some pretty good ones down here, defensive linemen.
You do, Joe, and those are the guys that are the true difference makers. Everybody talks about the skill level in South Florida. They like the speed at wide receiver and the athleticism at corner. But if you can find the guy at defensive line, he can change a program immediately.
All right, I have my... All right, Metro PCS LG Optimus F3 going to dial up. On the other end is going to be Larry Bluestein. By the way, all these cheerleaders here, they know everything there is to know about this Metro PCS LG Optimus F3.
I watched them. They helped you turn it on,
No
Joe.
question. All right, Larry, let's hear about those defensive linemen.
Well, Don, Joe, when you talk about defense in Miami-Dade and Broward County, you think about some linemen who are very athletic. Let's start it off in Dade County, and one of the guys who's a new guy to it. He last year played at Palm Bay High School at Bayside High School in Palm Bay. Now he moves down to play for Champagnat Catholic. His name is Trevante Valentine. He's a University of Miami commitment. He's 6'5". He's 290 pounds and one of the most athletic football players I've seen all year. This is a kid in the 7-on-7 series that was actually playing tight end at that size, so it'll show you he's got some tremendous athletic ability. Speaking about that athletic ability, do they come any better than Chad Thomas of Booker T. Washington? Another University of Miami commitment. And the one thing that you got to love about him is he's really a defensive end, but he's taken his game inside to see how he could do. People are still having problems stopping him. He's so athletic, he's so long, he's so good that a lot of people are overlooking the fact that he can play inside as well, which gives the University of Miami a lot of options in the future. And the last player is another Miami Killian guy, Matthew Colominas. Defensive end, wiry, rangy, 6'3", 225-pounder. He gets to the quarterback as quick as anybody. His first step is amazing. He's got long arms. He does so many good things right on a team that is defensive-oriented. So you understand that Killian bases its success on defense, and Matthew Colominas is one of those guys. On the Broward County side of it, Anthony Moat. Committed to Florida early on, backed off so he could get a good look at what's going on. This is a kid that, if you remember, has played for St. Thomas since he was in the 9th grade. And you know, if you play like Nicky Bosa was the 9th grade last year playing, so you know Moten's pretty special. Speaking about special, Kari Clark. Chaminade Madonna started out at American as a 9th grader in Hialeah and had something like 20 sacks. Moves up to Broward County and has dominated. A quality football player, another Gator. University of Florida comes and gets this kid. A lot of people thought he might end up at University of Miami. Once they committed Trevante Valentine, they filled that inside role, but Kari Clark's certainly one of the best players. And another guy that people haven't seen because they think he's undersized, but if you watch him play, Edgar Serrano out of American Heritage Plantation covers a lot of ground. He's quick, he's strong, he wears the number 11. I've never seen a defensive tackle ever wear the number 11, but he sits there in the middle, he's an immovable force, he's strong, he's worked extremely hard in the offseason, and you take a look at players like that. This is what I'm saying, this is where the athleticism is. Dade County, I gave you all those kids that are big time, and Broward County equally as so. Don't run on these guys.
Here's how you can help Larry Bluestein in his fight against kidney disease. You can send your donation or support to Our Boy Blue Foundation, P.O. Box 3181, Hollandale 33009. In addition, if anyone would test as a living organ donor for Larry or anyone else, please contact Jackson Memorial Hospital at 305-355-5194.
The South Florida Chevy dealers will be recognizing outstanding educators and handing out $4,000 in donations. Help us by nominating a high school teacher for the 2013 South Florida Chevy Dealers High School Teacher of the Year Award. Chevy will award a crystal trophy to one teacher in each county, plus each teacher's school wins a $2,000 general donation. Visit SouthFloridaHighSchoolFootball.com to learn how to nominate a teacher for consideration. We're accepting nominations until January 17th. The winners will be announced February 5th.
Welcome to the Chamber Sports Performance Minute. Today, I will walk you through a segment here on the field. We want to talk about the proper technique when catching the football. People drop the ball when they don't look the ball in correctly and they're turning their head, or they drop the ball when they're trying to tuck it and not tucking it properly. We want to talk about 3 points that's going to help you catch the ball properly. The first point is to watch the ball, the tip of the ball, which we call the point. The next one is to grab the fat. The biggest part of the ball is the fat. Watch the point, grab the fat, and then be able to tuck the ball in right here, close to your chest, point on the ball. All right? If you do this correctly, your chances of catching the ball will be amazing. For more information or to contact us, visit chamberfitness.com.
The South Florida High School Football Show is also on Facebook at sfhsfs. And you can follow us on Twitter at hfball and Instagram at sfhsfs. You'll receive weekly updates from our insiders, news, announcements, and game day scoring updates from all over South Florida, plus deals and offers from our partners.
For outdoor projects large or small, avoiding buried utility lines is more than food for thought.
What happened?
Know what's below. You or your contractor should always call 811 before you dig. Utilities will mark your lines for free. Brought to you by Tico People's Gas.
Broward Health is good at keeping muscles and joints in motion and out of pain. So good, they treat some of the nation's top athletes. So good, they've been selected to perform joint replacements on retired players. And so good, they handle more ortho cases and perform more joint replacements than anyone else in Broward. So if you're a senior with joint pain or an injured athlete of any age, trust the team Ryan Tannehill trusts.
Broward Health, powerful medicine.
The Coaches segment is brought to you by BurgerFi and Weston, all natural.
C-Y-C-Y-P-C-Y-P-R-E-S-S, let's go.
Go ahead, Joe.
Are you ready to play?
I'm ready to play. Let's run through the smoke.
I'm going to give you some pom-poms. All right, welcome back to the South Florida High School Football Show, coming to you from BurgerFi, right in the heart of Weston, which is in the heart of Cypress Bay High School, which, you know, we invite you to come on out here to visit BurgerFi. Great burgers. Of course, Cypress Bay's got a big, big game coming up against St. Thomas.
They do, Joe, and when you talk about big, Cypress Bay St. Thomas is about as big as it gets. You've got two very well-coached teams, two outstanding coaches, two programs that set the example for everybody. And what does that mean? We got a big one coming.
We got a big one coming, and we're going to break that down in our next segment. But first, here's Chris Chambers with Cypress Bay head coach Mark Guandolo.
Thanks, guys. Coach Guandola, state runners-up last year. What can we expect from your guys this season?
You know, we're still young. We got a lot of new guys. We're still trying to find ourselves, but, you know, they're ready for the challenge. We talked about being disciplined and, you know, playing hard, playing with great effort.
Off-season. Can you talk about your off-season program? You got a lot of new guys. Did you have to do anything particular this off-season as opposed to others?
You know, we do the same. I mean, we go 5 days a week, 3 hours a day, and, you know, we hit the hills, we hit the weights, we run. So, you know, it's a big part of our program, the conditioning.
Great. Are there a couple players we should keep our eye on? We talked about a young team, but there are some players that are starting to stand out a little bit.
You know, our linebacker, Keon Auguste, he's a senior. You know, I expect big things from him tonight. We're going to have to run the ball if we want to be successful. Dylan Rupert, our running back, tough kid. You know, we expect big things from him also. And then, you know, Chris Maxwell, our receiver, he playing DB for us too. Just been doing a great job for us.
Coach, I got a chance to watch the warm-ups a little bit. I see you are extremely hands-on. I was very impressed watching you get the guys warmed up. Can you talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, you know, I enjoy the strength and conditioning part as much as I do coaching football. So that's my little baby, and I think it's important to do it right and stay healthy and, you know, keep your speed up during the season. So, yeah, that's my baby, and we work real hard on it.
Thank you.
Coach,
thanks a lot.
Thanks, Coach.
Coach Guandola, Cypress Bay, looking not only to be a runner-up this year, but actually a state champion.
Don't forget to check out SouthFloridaHighSchoolFootball.com, where you'll get recruiting overviews powered by Larry Bluestein, a review of the top 20. We'll preview the top games in Dade and Broward County. We'll catch you up on Shaquille Jackson's blog and game recaps. You can nominate candidates for the Player of the Year and for the High School Teacher of the Year. Catch any of this season's TV shows you may have missed plus a whole bunch more.
Tico Peoples Gas is awarding the Player of the Year award to one player in Miami-Dade and one player in Broward. To nominate a player, visit SouthFloridaHighSchoolFootball.com. Look for the Tico Vote Here icon. Nominations are open until November 30th. The players take home a beautiful crystal trophy, and the schools that vote the most receive a $500 donation. The winners will be announced during our National Signing Day TV show on February 5th.
We continue now with our Broward Health Injury Report, and joining us now is Dr. David Perloff here at Broward Health. Very important topic. We're going to discuss cardiac situations, and which might be rare in high school athletes, but what should parents be looking for if they think their son or daughter is at risk?
So thanks for having me, Joe. So fortunately, it is very rare. It happens only about 1 in every 200,000 athletes per year. So this is an uncommon thing, but when it happens, it's clearly tragic. So mom and dad should be aware of symptoms during exercise, such as chest discomfort, shortness of breath, palpitations, and especially passing out. If these symptoms occur with your child, especially during exercise, they should be evaluated by a physician.
And in that evaluation, what will they go through?
So most of the time, the patient is seen originally by the pediatrician and sent to the cardiologist. We'll do an electrocardiogram, which is a test of the electrical activity in the heart. And then we will often go through an echocardiogram, which is an ultrasound, and a stress test in order to try to reproduce the symptoms.
All right, perfect. Doctor, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Dr. David Perloff here at Broward Health.
Hi, I'm Laura Dermidis with this week's U.S. Army All-American Bowl nominees.
This week, we have 2 all-star prospects. First up, Corey Holmes, the wide receiver from St. Thomas Aquinas. Holmes comes in at 6'2", 175 pounds. He's a fluid route runner and always seems to make big plays on a St. Thomas team loaded with talent. Holmes thrives in the middle of the field, but also has the wheels to get open on a 9 route. Without a doubt, Holmes' greatest feature are his great hands, making him a reliable target for Freebeck. Though offers came in from all over the country, Holmes gave his verbal in early September to Notre Dame. Next up is Jacob McCrary out of Coral Reef. This wide receiver stacks in at 6 feet, 182 pounds. He's a 4-star recruit who averaged an unbelievable 24.38 yards per catch last year and looks only to get better this season. McCrary is a playmaker both on and behind the line of scrimmage. He's been known to bust out on huge runs as well as catch out of the backfield, making him tough to defend. McCrary has been very vocal on Twitter about his indecision on where to attend college, but he recently committed to the West Virginia Mountaineers.
At Metro PCS, we believe in the power of the period. It keeps you from spending too much on wireless.
Unlimited data, talk, and text. $40, period. Everything you want. Even the taxes and fees are rolled right in.
$40, period.
On a nationwide 4G network. No annual contract. $40, period.
That's period power. Everything you want, $40, period. Only at Metro PCS.
He's a 20 years straight, get to work on time. He's in love one woman for all his life. Everybody knows he ain't just tough, he's strong.
The all-new 2014 Chevy Silverado. Strong for all the roads ahead.
And we are back on the South Florida High School Football Show. Joe Zagacki with Don Bailey Jr. We're at BurgerFi. We have the Cypress Bay Lightning cheerleaders with us because Cypress Bay's got a big game coming up against St. Thomas. It's going to be our broadcast game on 560 WQAM. Cypress Bay and St. Thomas earlier. We mentioned two great coaches, Rocco Casulo, Mark Wandolo, and talent on both sides of the ball.
Absolutely, but it's also a line of scrimmage game. Both of these teams are coached extremely well on the offense and defensive line. There's going to be a lot of hitting. There's going to be hitting. There's going to be a few plays where it's 3 yards in a cloud of dust. But at the end of the day, watch out for special teams and mistakes, because that usually defines who wins this football game.
St. Thomas, their offensive line has been a little bit banged up. Their quarterback, Wade Freebeck, threw for 5 touchdown passes a couple of weeks ago, but they still have the explosive running game.
Well, he's got his confidence. After a 5-touchdown game like that, you think that he can do anything. But it also helps is that he does have that running game, Joe, because that's allowed them to have success with some play action and also balance out that offense.
Well, speaking of the running game, you know what Coach G wants to do. Mark Wandolo, he wants to run the rock as well.
He wants to run it as much as he can. He also wants to do it as fast as he can. It's nice to see that they're having a very, very productive season, and they're fun to watch no matter who the opponent is.
All right, Cypress Bay and St. Thomas, that is our broadcast game. Another great matchup in Broward County. This one came out of nowhere, but Flanagan is having a tremendous season. They perhaps are playing the biggest game maybe in the history of the school against Miramar.
Well, I think they are. And when you look at Miramar, they are the team that went ahead and beat St. Thomas, so their confidence level went through the roof. That had always been a battle every single year. Miramar, known for their offense, how they were able to open it up, get all the receivers involved, but they're playing quality defense as well. So it's going to be a great matchup with them and Flanagan.
Flanagan has quarterback Ryan Stanley and wide receiver Imani Spence, and they're scoring from anywhere on the field.
They are, and what's nice about that is they can throw the short pass and he can run long, or they can take it over the top and go deep. They're an explosive offense, but they're doing a nice job with the throw and the catch.
It would be a big upset if Flanagan can pull it off, at Miramar, they have their sights set on an undefeated season.
That they do. It's something that they're used to. Miramar has gone to the state championships. They've got experience at this time of the year. They've done a good job going through the playoffs. It's going to be an exciting ball game.
All right, let's go into Miami-Dade County, another one of those gauntlet games and one of those great traditional games. Northwestern taking on Central. Northwestern just played Booker T. Now they got Central coming up.
Can you believe this? And Central has won the last 6 straight. It's hard to believe. But you have Roland Smith at Miami Central High School. They've got great talent in the backfield. They've got athletes all over the place. And it's going to be a Dade County showdown between Northwestern and Central.
Northwestern has the great linebacker Michael Smith going to the University of Miami. But Central, as you mentioned, the great running game, a two-headed running attack.
How do you beat that? And then it makes it even more difficult for Northwestern to defend because they do such a great job of spacing those plays out between those two running backs. Both of them can catch. You've got the bigger guy that can pound it, the smaller guy that takes it to the outside. Both of them very, very productive. Both of them D1 players. You've got a D1 group of players on both sides of the football, and both teams taking that battle to the playing field.
Don, when you played at Hialeah, Miami Lakes, and you went up against Hialeah, there was a lot of involved, and that's what this game is going to have.
It certainly is, and this is a bragging right game. Trust me when I tell you, Central was 6 in a row. Northwestern wants to stop that streak.
All right, should be a great one. We are at BurgerFi in Weston. We've had a lovely time here as we do every week. Come on out to BurgerFi. Get yourself a tremendous hamburger, hot dog, great sodas.
Don't forget the chicken dog, the apple chicken dog, one of my favorites.
We have the Cypress Bay cheerleaders here with us. All right, girls, you have another cheer for us?
Green Hill, Waiting Thunder, we're the team that won't go under. Whoosh, ah, whoosh, ah.
Whoosh-ah. There you go.
Green Hill, Waiting Thunder, we're the team that won't go under. Whoosh, ah, whoosh, ah.
You like that? Rain,
I
hail,
like that.
lightning, thunder, that describes you. Let me have one of those pom-poms.
There you
go, Don Bailey.
Thank you. There you go.
All right. We'll see you next week right here on the South Florida High School Football Show.
The South Florida High School Football Show has been brought to you by the U.S. Army, Tico People's Gas, The Chamber, Metro PCS, South Florida Chevy Dealers, Broward Health, BurgerFi in Weston, Vitamin Shop, and 560 QAM.
This ain't a sport for pretenders. You either whooping tail or you getting your butt whooped. That's all it comes down to. They can pretend all they want to. When that whistle blows, all bets are off. We're going to impose our will on them early. We're going to hit them hard. We're going to hit them fast. We can't wait to get out there and put these boys away. They've been chirping all week. They've been chirping all week. All we do is linemen, sound, off the top. All right, off the top. Give them nothing. Take everything away from them.